Good afternoon. I was just thinking to myself a little while ago, I haven't done a paper review in a hot minute. So, thought I'd do one. What we're doing today is Spica Bond. It's really bright white, which I love. It's 49, which is a, slightly sub Tomoe River weight. I like it. I think it'd make a great notebook, but be that as it may. If you haven't watched my reviews before, I'm much more into how things write on these papers, and I use a variety of pens and inks to give you an idea of what you might be getting if you bought this. So, one of the pens I like to use is your standard Preppy. It's a 03. This one's a variation because of accidental mixing on platinum green. Platinum greenish. I mean, I can already notice that the line is, very, very nice. It really follows how you write and doesn't bleed much at all, which personally I think is a fabulous thing. I'm adding a different pen. This is my extra fine Lamy 2000. This doesn't write extra fine, I'm just saying. Yeah, you see? This is feathering. Okay, I'm kind of surprised. This is Roaring Klinger's Lotte Sketch Ink. Now, mind you, I'm actually using a little bit of pressure with this pen that I probably shouldn't. It still doesn't write extra fine, even with no pressure at all. So, that's a ha-ha moment. Next one up is my Conway Stewart Nelson 2. This has got one of the million teal inks we own in it. European fine, probably made by Bach. Again, great line. This is clearly not as wet as the Lamy Extra Fine was. Let's see. What can we use next? How about one of my nibs? This is a modified Kasaki 2. Modified because that lower nib section is a retip. This is a PenSloth. Kasaki 2 mod. It's another teal ink. More teal inks! Hooray. Look at that. I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but that's got some really, really nice shading. The habanero, Noodler's habanero, here is also shading very nicely. That's really great. As you know, I like to use nibs that might piss off paper and go through them if anything's going to. And today is no exception. So I switched out the rather marvelous Krishna Winter I had in this for probably my favorite sparkly ink there is, Emerald of Chivor. So one of my Kabetama nibs. Whoops. Chivor, not S. Yeah, sparklies. Gotta love it. So I'm going to pull this paper up a little bit for the final thing I think people like to see is, does it sheen? And to do that, we've got a 6mm Pilot Parallel loaded with the Sheen Monster itself, Organic Studios Nitrogen. It's a little dry because I just refilled it. So, while that's drying a little bit, I'm going to flip the paper over and see what's going on. Okay, you got ghosting, and you're going to. What's interesting is it's ghosting, not direct bleed through. I'd say in a notebook, this is definitely a single-sider. It's watermarked, which to me tends to mean you're not going to convert it into notebooks, you're going to use it as writing paper. But, be that as it may, what do we got going on the front? Well, you've got sparklies, you've got moderate sheening on the Emerald of Chivor, the nitrogen sheening, of course, but it's doing it in that peculiar way that nitrogen does with absorptive papers. So you're getting the sheening in, the deepest puddles, whereas it's just really a gorgeous purple royal blue everywhere else. Okay, cool. So what we've got here is another good paper from Yamamoto. Thank you to Bert from Bertram's Inkwell for giving me this sample package to review. This is it feels good. What I would say is don't use it with ultra-fine Lamy 2000s or maybe really wet mediums. But if it can handle a Kawasaki 2 without any trouble, or habanero and not feather at all, the Lamy's got to be the outlier here somehow, and I'm not entirely sure how or why. But if you are in the market for papers, I definitely consider this one. It's nice, it's light, it feels good, and I'm all about the paper feel. Give it a consideration. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, comment, like, all those fabulous things that YouTube people ask people to do. And I will be back with you irregularly, just like you'd expect from a sloth.